So I saw this great thing on the road. Unfortunately, it was a pedestrian, so it didn't really satiate my fears about the driving public, but it did make me feel good. And it wasn't long after this pull-out incident that I just discussed. Um, but it wasn't a driver, so it didn't fully satiate, but it was nice to see. And it made me think about a larger point. And I think it maybe relates to this driver issue. It relates to a lot of fucking things. I think more than people realize. Here's the thing. I saw a dad and his son. They're crossing the street. Major intersection. They're crossing. I don't know if I'll get this exactly right. I believe they're crossing over Chicago Ave on LaSalle. So they're walking down LaSalle, crossing over Chicago. So it's a big 4-lane with a turning junction intersection. It's downtown, morning rush hour, lots of cars, people going places. I don't know why this kid wasn't in school. I mean, he was little, but he was walking on his own. Like, the dad was holding his hand, but he's walking. Maybe he's just before school. Maybe he's like 4, preschool. Why does his dad not have a fucking job? All right, I'm getting off point, because I do like this dad. And here's why I like this fucking dad. He's probably taking him to a doctor's appointment, because he is a great dad, because that's what I'm about to fucking get into. All right, I don't want to judge him that way. I don't want to say he's good. But you know what I think he is? No, I do want to say that. Because you know what? For the bad thing, I'm pulling out my ass. For the good thing, I have context clues to make that leap. That's what this is all about. Shut up, Justin. Just get into it. I'm gonna. Doing it right now. So the dad and his son are crossing the street. All right? Crossing over 4 lanes of traffic. Now, he does it the right way. He waits for the walk signal. He's holding his son's hand. Like I said, he's probably like, he's a little kid, but he's walking on his own. He's maybe like 4. He's a little kid. Dad's holding his hand. Dad's got his left hand holding his son's right hand. They're crossing. Just walking. They got the walk signal. Now, they get past the median. So now they're in, I don't want to say oncoming traffic because it's all oncoming to them because they're crossing parallel or perpendicular, I should say. But basically, so if you're on LaSalle turning left onto Chicago, now you're at the point where they would be in your way. They've crossed in front of me. They're on the other side of the 2 lanes. So now they see a cab pull out. He's going down LaSalle. So he's going parallel to them, about to turn left perpendicular to them. So the dad sees the car. Now keep in mind, he still has the walk signal. I believe it's on the flashing stop hand, but it's got a countdown. And they're about 8 or 9 seconds according to the countdown. And they probably only got about a 6-7 second trip left. They're going to make it. I mean, it's going to be right under the gun, but they're going to make it. They're going to legally make it in time. Said legally to their rights. Like they couldn't, the cab would be wrong if he's like, what the fuck are you doing? Hey, I'm just walking on the walk with a 4-year-old, mind you. Suck my dick. But you know what the dad does? He sees this cab. It's a cab. It's a guy working, trying to make a living. That's what I was doing at the time. I was undercutting him in my Uber. But still, working man nonetheless. Right? Don't let them separate you. Don't let the elite separate you, working class people. I'm on your side, taxi cab guy. I'm just working my own hustle. Don't let the elite separate us, baby. But seriously, guys working. He's making a living. It's rush hour. People got places to go. Either he's picking someone up or dropping someone off. But that person in the back or about to be in the back has somewhere to go. This guy has somewhere to go. Time's money. I need to do turnover. I need to get this guy somewhere so I can take another guy somewhere so I can hit the airport, come back. We're all doing stuff. This dad sees that. He looks at his son and kind of gives like a, okay, buddy, and does like a little jog. Now, the kid's 4. His jog is not covering much more ground than his walk. He's got little tiny legs. But you know what? That's not the fucking point. He sees this cab trying to turn left, and he's not getting out. The cab stopped. The cab's not being a dick. He's not doing that thing where he like pulls up real close, being threatening. He's respecting the walk, as he should. As he should. And the guy goes, come on. And kind of, starts a little jog that gets the son jogging. And they jog off. They get out of the way. Cab makes his left-hand turn. This is what it takes to make the world a better place. That dad went and beat the change. You know what I mean? Because here's the thing that I've always realized about parenting. And it's something, honestly, just to give them a quick shout out, that I think my parents did right, is that there's no good way to parent. And I think that's what's fucking frustrating about it. There's no good way to parent. All right? So, I think what's frustrating about that is that, you know, I hugged him a lot. Well, you know, now he's real needy in relationships. He expects a lot of affection. No one can meet his standards. He's a needy guy. I didn't hug him at all. Well, now he doesn't know how to express affection. He's very cold. He's relationship to relationship. He doesn't know how to be emotionally available, you know. I hugged him a medium amount. Well, he wanted more hugs. He thought you hugged him too much. What, you know? All that shit. Or even like maybe you find some magical hug number. But now you're yelling at him too much during base. You know, I've heard all that. Like, you get two people together. I fucking hate my dad. He'd come to every fucking baseball game, scream at me, scream at the coach. All I wanted to do was fucking please that guy, and I never could. You know? And now, what do? Bust my hump at work every day. Now, you know what I don't see? My wife, my kids, because I'm just trying to succeed. Trying to get another fucking promotion, another fucking trophy, right? Please that dad. That dad who is never proud, who's always shouting, right? And then he's talking to his buddy, the painter, who's like, you know what, dude, my dad fucking came to everything I did. I told him I wanted to be a fucking wrestler. He built a ring in our backyard. We didn't even have a lot of money. He picked up another job to help. You know? He sold his fucking bike. Yeah, he had this great motorcycle. My mom didn't want him to ride much anymore. He sold it. He was at every game. He always said, it's okay, you know. Told him I wanted to go to art school, paint. He was like, do whatever you want. I got you. You know what? I'm going to pay for the first semester. You know, because I don't want you working. I want you pursuing. And I just don't have any drive. Look at you. You say, you know, you don't see your wife. She loves you. Why? Because you got $1 million home. On the burbs. 2 cars. Kids got everywhere they want. Me and my girlfriend are sharing a studio apartment. I wish I had a dad that got on my fucking ass. You know? I'm 35. Am I going to just... Now I got to go to a Tony Robbins seminar just get some drive? I wish that would have been in me. That's not something, right? We've all seen or been a part of those conversations. And it's got to be so frustrating as a parent. You're like, fuck. How do you not fuck this up? And to be honest... You know, everyone's going to, the grass is always greener. So you're always going to wish you were more this or more that. And maybe, honestly, you should be more this or more that. Everyone's got to adjust. No one pops out perfect. No one even grows up perfect. You know, you'll probably be on your deathbed being, you know, that's what's so frustrating, I think, about life sometimes, is that you're taking your last 10 breaths and you're like, dude, I think I finally fucking figured it out. I think it takes about 60 to 65 years to get good at life. And then you're like, fuck, it's almost over. I got like 3 years to use this knowledge. Try to pass it on to a 16-year-old. He's like, shut up, old man. It's like, you'll fucking see, bro. That's going to be funny. There's going to be a lot of old guys in 40 years that talk like that. Hey, give me some Insure, brah. Hey, shit my pants, brah. Hey, dude. Shit my pants, brah. But I think as frustrating it is to be a parent with that dichotomy out there, I think that the only thing you can do, and I think my parents did it at enough of a rate that I feel very thankful. And that thing is, you just got to be a good person. You just got to, you can sit down and talk to them every once in a while, but make it sparse, make it for big things. Don't make it too awkward because it already is awkward. So that's why save it. If you're going to get the awkwardest, if you're going to make things awkward, if you're going to, hey son, hey daughter, sit, hop on the bed with me for a second. Sit down, pop a seat. I just wanted to talk. Right? You know, your booze, your drugs, your sex, your driving, your going to college, you know, those things. maybe do a sit-down talk. But you know it's going to be awkward. That awkwardness is going to dilute the message. But sometimes they do need to hear that, right? So you got maybe half a dozen of those in you, the whole 0 to 18. So save them for good shit. Don't burn them early, but also don't save them up right for the end. You got to, you can have a couple of those talks. The awkwardness is going to dilute the point. So keep it short, right? There's no way to not make it not awkward. Don't worry about being cool dad or cool mom. So you get a couple of those. But honestly, that's why. You're going to hug them the wrong amount. You only got 6 really big moments to implant, big ideas in them. But then the other thing you got to do is just be a good person. And good is very relative. Put your own values in there. But really think. And that's why use this time as for yourself, too. Again, that whole lifelong growth thing. It's good for you and it's good for your kid. What are my values? What do I think is the most important thing? What is good to me? I think it's weird when people think going to church every Sunday is good, but I guess if that's really important, you do it. Triage what's good to you. But don't make it what Hallmark says, make it what you think. Make it what's helped you. What you've practiced and had the most positive return on in business, interpersonally, all that shit. Think about that shit. And then just fucking act. Don't drag your kids to church. Go to fucking church. Have fun at church. Please don't fucking go to church. I fucking hate it. But seriously, trying to make a bigger point that's beyond this judgment. We'll get into that shit later. But not even fucking today. But seriously, and I think that's what was so awesome about this moment that almost made me a fucking emotional was seeing just dude, that kid's getting it on a subconscious level. He is. I don't care if he's 4. He's getting it. And what he's not getting, when you don't talk to a motherfucker, when you don't just say, hey, we do this, or you do this, or do this, when you just do as a person, especially like that, again, I'm not being sexist, I'm just speaking to what I know. Having a dad as a boy, a man to man, I'm sure there's stuff that's woman to woman. I just can't speak to that directly. So I'm actually being not sexist, motherfucker. No, I don't know. I don't know what I'm being. But the point is, this guy, he's showing this little guy, I think the kid knows on a subconscious level because he's processing it in a way that he's just it's going to enrich him. He's not going to consciously think of it, but I think he'll go through his life knowing if someone's trying to turn, you jog. It doesn't matter that you have the right to. He could have stand in front of that cab for 7 more seconds and then just ran across the street, flicking the cab off. I mean, the flicking off thing would have been shitty and, I don't know, borderline illegal, I guess maybe harassment. But the point is, he had the right, and he forfeited, 5 seconds of his right, or just even his convenience to not have to jog, get a little out of breath, it's cold out, whatever. Whatever he had to forfeit, he did forfeit it. Because this guy had places to go, and it wasn't going to hurt him that much. Why not take a jog, So I think that kid's internalizing that. If you see someone trying to turn, give a little jog. And I think you don't even have to teach then, or you don't have to worry about hugs or worry about those big sit-downs. I think from then, if your kid sees someone, if he's got a cart full of groceries, he sees someone with, milk and eggs, kind of looking at their looking at their watch or looking at their phone shit, I got to get that thing. I think your kid's kind of just, you don't need to tell him. You don't need to instill it. He's just going to remember jogging across the street and be like, hey, I'm just going home from work and going to binge some shit. You just got those 2 things. Why don't you just pop in front of me, right? Hold the door open. All that type of shit that's in that same vein. And then you kind of just do all that shit, and everything kind of hits a different tentacle. That's kind of the polite or the consideration tentacle. So like I said, that's one thing. It's going to, trickle down to other shit. It's going to trickle down to the grocery line. You don't have to sit him down and be like, all right, this is what we as a family do in grocery lines. This is what we do when we're driving. This is what we do when we're walking. He'll get it. He'll see it. And I think that's more important. And to be honest, I've been too positive. So I know what you're thinking. Justin, you've been really positive about this. You haven't shouted at anything. Is there a flip side to this? Oh, fuck yeah, baby. I've seen parents act like real dipshits. And when they're with their kids and you see that dipshitness just trickle down to the next generation, just fucking flood the gene pool, one shitty decision at a time, it is infuriating. So I'll touch on that, and then we'll get into the essay. I know I said I had 2.5 more things, and this by the end of this, I'll be through 1.5 things, but we're at such a good amount of time. I don't want these things to drone on. And this next thing, again, like, it's about something I saw like a week ago, but it's time intensive to me. But like I said, it's not time sensitive to society to talk about this, but B, even in another week, because we'll be back with another default episode next week. It won't be old fucking then. Even 3 weeks it won't be old. But again, like I said, going back to A, I don't think it's something that would get old anyway. So I'm gonna save that last topic from the 2.5 for episode 10 next week. And I'm just gonna finish off this topic and then get into the essay. So what I was gonna say is, the thing is like, I have seen the shitty version of this, and it you see it manifest just as immediately, and it's just as good as the one makes you feel, this one infuriates you on the other end. And I used to work at a Subway sandwich shop. I was a sandwich artist. I was an artist of sandwiches. Right? Yeah, I'm an artist. This is a film. Okay, so the way this, you've seen most Subway. It's not like it's super different from a lot of Subways, but it's basically like, they all, I feel like nowadays they all have some sort of chip station, right? Because they want to sell you on them chips, right? Good margins on the chips, great margins on the drinks, and when you get the chips, just get a meal. It's like 75 cents more. All right, I'll do the meal. Cha-ching. So that's what they're thinking. So we had a small restaurant. I think I talked about this before. Not this exact story. I talked about the fucking bathroom sitch in this Subway. You met a lot of dog shit people at the Subway. But anyways, and this happened quite a few times. A couple dozen? I don't know. Maybe more. Let's break it down a little more timely. I would say this would happen 2 to 3 times a week. So it's not a lot, but that adds up. And when you hear the kind of animal this is, I mean, the handful of people I've told this story, like, dude, we always thought this person sucked. Does this person suck? Everyone I told me, like, yeah, fucking Jesus, what an animal. So 2 to 3 times for this kind of animal behavior, I do think is a lot. And like I said, that adds up. 2 to 3 a week. Every week you're seeing this, just like, god damn. So what we had was, you walk into the restaurant, and it's one of those. So you walk in the restaurant, and it's set up shotgun style. So when you walk in, the line is running basically parallel to the left wall, and then the right wall is where the line is, and it's kind of like a reverse queue. So you walk all the way to the back of the restaurant. That's where the sandwich starts, and then you start coming back the way you came in towards the register, and then you pop out. So especially when it gets busy, it's a good flow, right? You go, it's kind of like makes a U. And right behind where the line started was a big chip rack, right? Giant chip rack full of chips. So people would be like, aw, chips. I like chips. Harvest Cheddar Sun Chips? Fuck yeah. I'm going to tag those on. You grab your Sun Chips there. You make your sandwich. Anything else with that? Oh, well, I got the chips. Yeah, I'll take the drink for 75 cents more. Cha-ching. We're all making money. That's how you upsell. Marcus Lemonis, baby. He would love it. But anyways. So, and then I feel like I've seen sometimes they have the chips on the line. So you look while you're making your sub, you grab a bag, right? It's a little more incentive based, right? If they're behind the counter, that would be bad, right? If they're like far away, then it's like, it just doesn't seem real. But you get them chips in your hand, like, I gotta buy these. It's a good sales tactic. But what these fucking I don't know. these fucking dirt people would do is grab the bag of chips, pop the fucking bag, pop that bag, start munching. Start munching chips in the line. Now, 2 to 3 people a week. What percentage were doing it when the line was backed up? So, got them fucking starving. Man, it's going to be about, Subway. It's not fast food, baby. It's go food fast. But you know what I mean? Like, it takes a little while. We had a good system set up in the afternoon rush, but you get a real afternoon rush. If the line's full at noon and you're in the back of it, well, but you still have to reach the chip stand. Let's say you're at the back of the chip stand. By the time you start ordering, could be 3 to 4 minutes. Not a ton of time, but you could polish off one of those small bag of chips. Now, do I think that is a little kind of just, what are you doing? Not like you're going to steal it. I would say almost 10 out of 10 people would say, I had a bag of chips. So it's not about the stealing. It's not about the theft. It's about the delaying of gratification and just the overall just satiating of your needs immediately, like the no patience, the no, and like I said, before I get too off track, so who would start doing it in a filled up line was where I was going. The percentage of those 2 to 3 a week, what percentage overall over the, not just the 2 to 3 a week, but overall, add up all those weeks, add up all those people. Now we got a sample, we got a nice sample size. What percentage of those people were doing it in a full line? 1 out of 10. Maybe 1 out of 10. 9 out of 10 is there's no line. There's one person in front of them, maybe. Either way, it's about sandwich time for them. They're on deck at most. They pop that bag and they start munching. And now it's like, let me get BMT and let me get BMT wheat. 4 6-inch foot. Excuse me. I'll do the foot. All right, toasted. Yeah, let's toast. And then just looking over the lettuce, and they're just spraying fucking chips. Fucking, you can't. What? Did you say? What? More or less? Less or lettuce? Less or swallow. Lettuce. Okay. Just no patience, no delaying of gratitude, and like I said, no, dude, you're holding up. Even if there's one person behind you, or there's a line behind you, or whatever. So, like I said, sometimes they come in was dead, but dead could even still just be as you're ordering, someone walks in behind you. You're holding them up. I can't fucking hear you. I just want to make your fucking sandwich. Get the fuck out of here. I got a pan to clean. I got my sandwich to eat. I want to help this fucking guy. This guy wants helped. So just the rudeness of it, the self-centeredness, like that there's like a delaying of gratification or patience issues. I feel like are all often wrapped into like just a narcissism of just like, I want chips, so I get chips. If he has to wait, that doesn't matter. Nothing matters except my hunger and my love of chips. It's just that added. I think that's what it was, the all-encompassing of it. It was just gross seeing this fucking stranger with they're fucking talking. See this open mouth just full of chips. And just seeing like little. Not every time. Some people are less gross. That's still gross, but. That's the least gross it got was pretty gross. But, you'd see fucking little spittles come out. Not like at your face. Luckily there's that glass blocker. And just, you're getting fucking money with Cheeto dust on it. Or a greasy credit card. It's like, dude, you're ruining everyone's day. You animal. Stop. And a lot of times they try to just, 1 out of 2 times, they're like, I'm sorry, I'm just, long day. I've just been running around all day. I'm just starving. I just had to get something in me. Did you? Are you on the Sudan having a hard time tracking antelope? Right? You're famished. Oh, no, we didn't catch an antelope today. We've been tracking them with bow no less, no gun, bow tracking, barefoot in the Sudan, old school. Luckily, there's a subway nearby because we struck out, but we went all day in the hot sun. I mean, did you need your calorie intake that immediately? Or did your 45-minute meeting go an hour? Is that where you're at mentally? Is it more that? Is it? And is it also dead enough that you'd have sandwich, chips, drink, and you could sit down like a goddamn person and eat it in like 2 minutes, 30 seconds? Are you faint? Is your blood sugar that low? We need to just get your life together in a better way in general. If your life's on that much of a hair trigger that you're 2.5 minutes away from fainting at all times, you need a meal plan better. Carry a protein bar, right? Make a shake in the morning, couple Slim Fast in the trunk. You need to plan better if that's the case, but I don't think that's the case. I think you're just a rude, narcissistic, impulsive motherfucker, and you're trying to joke your way out of being a jerk because the little self-respect and the little self-recognition that you have left is telling you that you should say something. But that's why only 1 out of 2, because then another 50% are like, I want a chip, so this is fine, because whatever I want is just okay, you know? And to circle around to the original point, every once in a while, maybe 1 out of every 5, a lot of stats, a lot of making them up, but not making them up like I'm basing them off memories, but it's not scientific. But I bet it's close. You know, I bet it's close. 1 out of 5. 1 out of 6, maybe 2. More than 10, but 20 is closer, percentage I mean. 10% of them is too low. 20% is a little high, but close. So let's say something like 1 out of 6 straddles in with 1 or 2 fucking rugrats on their tail. Rugrats. Kids. I think I kind of said rugrats. Got that toddy in me. Let me polish off this final sip before I get psycho. Wow, that sip was straight up cold and not that great. I know I said the room temp hot toddy was not bad. It's like hot toddy. Can I get a lukewarm toddy? That one's not bad. The cold toddy is not horrific, but not great. So 1 out of 6 would string along a couple of shit-kicking kids behind them, and they really were that, and that was the whole thing, right? You say the way this one dad crossing the street with his kid is, and how that kid, like, as soon as the dad gets a jog, the kid gets a jog. Kid seemed like a good kid. I know I saw him in the street for 10 seconds, but he just had an aura about him. Seemed like a good kid, good dad. Teaching, passing values. Hey, guy's on his job, let's cross the street. We don't have to, but we're gonna. But now you have this fucking jagoff. This fucking animal. Right? Popping his bag of Doritos. Full on. Ham $5? Alright, let's do a ham. Fucking date myself of when I worked there. Still have the $5 foot long. Now it's the $6. Ridiculous. Anyways. So, what are those kids doing every single time? You want stats? Every single time. This is 100% of the time. No pie charts, no graphs, no percentages, no fractions, no decimals. 100%. 10 out of 10. 100 out of 100. Whatever out of whatever. Every single fucking time. What are these kids doing? Dad's in line. What do you want? Do you want the kids' meal or do you want the 6-inch? Kid's buried in a fucking Game Boy. Dan, do you want the 6-inch or you want the kids? Whatever. Well, you gotta tell me. I don't know. Can we get ice cream? No, we're gonna get this. If you eat this, maybe. I want ice cream. Do they have ice cream? He's munching his drug. Do you guys sell like an ice cream? No, we don't have it. I'm gonna get you the 6-inch. Kid doesn't even respond. The other kid's just running around in circles. Is the dad saying, hey, don't do that. Why would he? He's not gonna not do it. He's not doing that because he's a fucking psycho. He's a psycho because you're an animal. Right? It's the same thing. It's the same thing on the other side. Always running around, never listening to the parents, always screaming, always crying, always eyes buried in a Game Boy or an iPad, something. Something like that every single kid, every single time, some combination or some offshoot of that behavior. Why? Because the kid's like, Game Boy, I need it. Run, I want to. Scream, I'm scared. Sad, I'm crying. Happy, I'm laughing. Like loud though, like annoying laughing. Sit, I don't want to. There, I want to sit. Someone's there. I want ice cream. Why? Why are they doing that? Because they have a dad that is the same way. He's grown up, so he's got a little more just social science in his brain to kind of mellow out some of the rough edges, but he's still pretty much being like, I want chips. I'm eating them now. What kind of sandwiches do you have? I got to eat my chips now. Like that he's got a fucking shitty person in his stupid brain. And they fucking see that. The same way that that kid that jogs across the street is going to do more. He's not going to just jog across the street. He's going to be a better person because his dad's a good person. The same way this chip muncher is producing just piece of shit offspring. And you know those people, right? Like I said, like you had us as workers. You had the people that had to wait behind him while he's screaming at his kid. 6-inch your kid's meal. Do you want a ham or turkey? Well, the turkey's more, but I'll get it for you if you want. If you don't say anything, I'm just getting you ham. Right? People are waiting behind them. We're waiting. We're angry. I got to take my fucking lunch break. Right? This guy's always coming in at 1 because he didn't have a fucking job. Right? Same way I made good judgments about that guy. You're eating lunch at 1. No one lets off for lunch at 1. You don't got a fucking job. So you don't fucking care that I have one. I take my lunch after the world's lunch because that's when I'm serving food. And it's later than most people. And I'm hungry. And you don't give a shit. You're screaming about ham sandwiches to a kid that won't pay attention. You're going to put him on Ritalin just because you're setting a poor example. That's why the kid's shitty. Because you're shitty. It's not fucking rocket science, dude. And that's what you're going to do. You're going to keep eating your chips in line, and you're going to keep having those at most. If you have even a shred of dignity at most, you're going to have those sit-downs, right, on the bed. You know, when I ask you something, you got to answer. All right? I know you like your Game Boy. I know today was a rough day, right? Right? We did a lot. You're probably a little tired. But you got to listen to me. And the kid's like, okay. Okay, I said I'm sorry. Okay. All right, you're sorry. He's not taking that in. And plus he's seeing like, just seeing this fucking guy eat chips talking to adults like that's okay. Talking to a grown man with a mouthful of chips. Making a business transaction with a mouthful of nacho cheese dust. He's seeing that. The lesson's not sinking in, dude. Nor should it. Oh, and you just know those, like I said, like, us, the workers, the people that had to wait behind them, the people in the restaurant eating that has some kid just running around their table. This is their 10 minutes away from the office, or before, if they're working the night shift before they go in the office, or they just worked out. They just got their pump on. We got a lot of that. It's a Subway, right? Take that. Turkey on wheat, triple meat, just mustard, no mayo, no cheese, toast it. Extra spinach, please. And then we always had milk, and the only people that ever got milk was kids, obviously. That's why we had it. Or people with people that just got their fucking pump. I just did a CrossFit sesh. Let me get that turkey, whole wheat, no cheese, triple the meat, toasted, extra spinach. Then we get brown mustard, yellow mustard, just vinegar. Dude, stereotypes are bad, except for sandwiches. I could give you a basic outline of the sandwich the guy was going to order, just seeing him in the door, or lady. That was the weightlifter sub. Just vinegar, no oil. All right, looks good. Wrap that. Thanks, buddy. Thanks, brah. And then Let me get and that was the other. We had apple slices too. Again, for the kids' meals, and like adults would get them sometimes because they were trying to push that fresh fit thing. But it was all right. That triple meat sub. Let me get the apples instead of the chips. Let me get a milk. Sometimes they treat themselves to the baked chips, but then they're slamming that milk. But anyways, don't worry, I'm tying it together. But anyways, you got people just trying to enjoy their post-workout snack. They pumped hard today. Today was a chest day, right? They just got a new max on bench. They're feeling good, but they're tired. People just finish it. I gotta get to work in 10 minutes. You know what? I'm gonna get a refill. I'm done with my sandwich. I'm gonna get a Coke refill. I'm just gonna check New York Times on my phone. Oh, I'm on a date with my lady. I got a fucking bar shift tonight, but I'm gonna get this meatball sub in me. That'll get me through the night. Just people chilling. I want to go on my lunch break, or I want to start the dishes. Lunch rush over. And then these fucking people, they just bring in. That's why they suck. That's why sucky people suck. Because these people, I got a fucking, what? Lettuce or less? The guy in the back behind him's like, fuck. Now I had 20 minutes for lunch. Now I got 14 because this guy's yelling ham. No one's enjoying their fucking food because the kid's screaming. All these kids, now maybe not all, but again, 90%, 80% of these kids, these are the kind of kids that play their Game Boy with the sound on. How? Who creates these kids? Chip guy. Who doesn't say anything? Chip guy. Kid doesn't even recognize that he's being a fucking animal. And that's what I'm saying. And it just, they just leave. They leave. Nothing affects them. They're awful. They leave. And just the whole restaurant's in a shambles. Everyone's tired. Everyone's just tense. Ugh. You want to make better people? Just be a better person. It fucking rubs off, man. It does. It rubs off.